So again, my name is Gabe Zollner. I read an interesting little article on Obamacare and I wanted to share it with some of the viewers. And apparently there are two court cases that are moving forward, and what they're about is to determine a couple of key aspects as far as Obamacare is concerned. Now, the administration was relatively thorough in putting together the program, but no different than any program, sometimes things sort of slip through the cracks. It appears that's what happened in this instance. As you may or may not be aware, there's 33 states that are unwilling to implement the exchanges. As a result, the federal government can go ahead and do that on their own. That's within the guidelines that they've established. But there's one key provision that sort of slipped through the cracks. And what that is that if an exchange is established by a state, then they can receive additional funding, federal funding, for shortcomings that might exist in order to shore up their efforts. But there was never any provision made as to doing the same if in fact the state itself is unwilling to implement the exchange and the federal government goes ahead, which they can, and implement the exchange. But what they can't do is they can't provide additional funding, as they can if the state goes ahead and implements the exchange. It sounds a little bit complex and confusing, which it is. But anyway, so what happened, according to what I read, is that the IRS went ahead and made the change themselves, whereby if the federal government establishes the exchange, then again they can't receive additional funding. The problem is that was done after the fact. The problem is that was done without any congressional oversight, without any congressional approval. That's what the court case is about. Now, the concern that I have, and I hope that I'm not right to have this concern, is that if the data mining done by NSA is as complete and thorough as I believe that it might be, and if the judges that are going to be hearing the case have been caught in the data mining net, and if they have information that they don't want the public to become aware of, will their decision be compromised? Somewhat similar to what I understand the Justice John Boehner might have done as far as Obamacare is concerned. You know, there's all kinds of speculation that's going on around that, and Glenn Beck was supposed to release some specific information. The rumors on that are that the justice was compromised by threats being made to either himself and or his family, which is why supposedly he signed off on Obamacare and deemed it to be a tax. It's really crazy, and there's just a lot of insanity going on. Nothing that once made sense makes any sense. And what amazes me is all of the crimes that both Obama and his administration have committed against the Constitution and the American people. There's been nothing that happened to any of them. Nothing. That's really scary. What do you think? I told you what I think.